Hello everyone, welcome to Back in the Game, episode 2, where we're going to give you an update on the Premier League and the Champions League. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm just Aidan.
Just Aidan?
Just Aidan,
Oh,
not an office bloke.
You're an office bloke, you work in the office.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And you're a bloke.
Yeah,
so.
true.
Well,
Office bloke.
debatable.
Yeah.
So what we want to touch on, the big news this week is when we were talking the other day is about first managers to get sacked. None of us said Thomas Tuchel.
Well, it was Scott Parker anyway.
Yeah, well, Scott Parker had already been sacked when we did the last one, wasn't he?
You said
So
next,
talking about
the next manager.
Next manager, yeah. So it's
a huge surprise.
Very much
massive surprise to me.
Yeah, same,
it really was.
Same. I know they had a very bad result against
Was it Zagreb?
Dinamo Zagreb. They look poor. They just, again, what we were saying before, they looked just disjointed, and the whole summer spending spree was disjointed. So I'm not sure what they expected, in my opinion.
Got new owners, obviously, haven't they? He's the front man, that Ted Bowley. There's an American guy, he's the front man. He just seems a bit scattergun, which is what we've been saying on the podcast. Is some of the people that he's been going after. I think he wanted Ronaldo as well, didn't he?
He did.
I don't think Tuchel wanted him.
Correct.
So it looked like he was going for like the star name to sort of like get Chelsea's name out there, which I don't think they need anyway. Mm-hmm. But it's been a bit disjointed, I think, hasn't it? The transfers.
Just be interesting to see what to expect from Chelsea now going forward. They've appointed Graham Potter today,
which is just in today.
Which is for me is a fantastic appointment. Whether it's a poison chalice for Graham Potter to go there and sort of like take over and try and sort of like work with that after he's done such a good job with Brighton. You know, he is a top class manager for me, and he deserves to get a top class appointment, which he's got. So,
I think it might be with the wrong club. I'm just not sure. He's had time at Brighton. He ain't going to get time at Chelsea. No. He's got to do it overnight. I'm looking at. See, it's happened with United to a certain extent with Solskjaer. Where some of the players will look at Potter and think, "What have you won? Where's your medals?" You look at some of the players playing for Chelsea that have won things, won the Champions League, and they'll be looking at him thinking, "Why are you telling me what to do? You've not won anything. Put your trophies on the table." Yeah. Which is the attitude of a lot of players these days. It just is, and I'm just wondering whether that might do for him. I agree with you. I think he's a really, really top manager, really good manager, and deserves a chance. But I don't know. I'm just not sure whether the hierarchy there will give him that chance. I don't know.
Who's in Chelsea's group? Who else was in Chelsea's group in the? Was it Juventus and?
I'm not sure.
What, in the Champions League?
Yeah. No, this
season.
Yeah.
Played Dinamo Zagreb, and then I want to say AC Milan and.
I think you might be
Salzburg.
right. I think you're right. I think that's who it is. Yeah, but it's. That's to me is a relatively easy group in when it's on paper.
On paper, yeah.
Yeah, but obviously they've lost the first one away, and great result for Zagreb. They really hustled, closed down, they kind of bullied Chelsea a little bit.
Yeah.
Chelsea had nothing to offer.
Maybe
nothing. Maybe
it's a bit of the sign that maybe the players weren't playing for him, because that's what happens, isn't it? You look at maybe some of the performances, you think, why wouldn't they
play for it? Some of them are brand new in.
Absolutely.
Wesley Fofana, Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
You got people there who are playing. Some people probably might not be in a team of Chelsea's quality, like Mason Mount. Is he good enough for Chelsea?
Yeah.
People aren't good enough to get in them teams. So for me, it's a little bit disappointing that Chelsea have got rid of Tuchel, because I think he's a very, very, very good manager.
They've just let him, because he was heavily involved in the transfers, and a lot of them were his. Just spent 260, 270 million, whichever paper you believe, but it's along those lines, isn't it?
Yeah.
So and then, just a week or so later, they've given him the sack.
That's why
it just seems bizarre timing.
That's why it's a really bad sacking for me, because he's signed all these players that are going to be playing for him, the players that he wanted.
Give him a chance.
Graham Potter might not have signed any of them if he was appointed at the start of the summer.
That's right. Absolutely, and is Graham Potter going to need another ton of cash in January to sort of like bring in the people he wants to bring in? He sold Cucurella, to go to Chelsea, and now he's going back with Cucurella. Does he want Cucurella? He didn't want him at Brighton.
Yeah, makes you wonder.
I think he did want him at Brighton, but you can't reject that sort of money for a club like Brighton.
Possibly not. But
it may have been like a hierarchy.
He definitely would have wanted him.
But my question to you two is,
that's why he rejected a 45 mil offer for us as well.
Yeah, because they wanted more money.
Why did they want more money?
Why did they take any? Why didn't they just keep him then?
Because Brighton can do with the money.
They just got a load of money. They sold Ben White. They sold Dan Burn. They sold Neil
Maupay. And look what they did after they've sold them.
Yeah, I know.
They've brought in better players, and now they're doing well in the league.
Well, I just think is Graham Potter an upgrade to Thomas Tuchel in a club the size of Chelsea?
Well, no, you look at what he's won, Tuchel. He's won the Champions League last season, didn't he? For starters, but he's won other trophies as well. Well, is it an upgrade? I just don't see how it can be.
Look at David Moyes when he was at Everton. He was seen as a class manager, went to United, naff.
Yeah.
Great manager at West Ham now as well. I think that's the same with Graham Potter. I feel like he's going to be a bit more of a lower league manager, a lower club manager. That doesn't really do well for the big teams, but he's a solid manager for this.
I think you're absolutely right. I think some managers, just like players, are just at a certain level, and I think it suits them. I think that's where the one that springs to mind for me is Zaha.
Yeah,
it's come to United. Maybe it's a bit early for him, but but he goes back to Palace and he looks like a top player a lot of the time, doesn't he?
What
but at another club, I'm just not sure whether he's got the mentality to play at the elite level.
The big fish in a small pond type thing.
Yeah,
I feel like Zaha is the kind of player that has to play on a team where he's the best player.
He's the star of the show. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a few people like that sort of like spring to mind. But I think with Chelsea now, I said before they're very disappointing for me at the start of the season on the last podcast we did, and I just think that it's going to go the similar way of. I don't see them pulling themselves out. They might have that little boost. They play Wolves this weekend. Yeah. Is it Wolves they play? Is it
Fulham?
Fulham.
Liverpool.
Wolves, yeah. So they've got a derby against Fulham, and that is a real derby. And Fulham are playing quite well.
Yeah.
Mitrovic is playing well up front. He's a handful as we discussed before, and just Fulham coming to I don't know where it's at. I think it's at Fulham. So Fulham at home. It's going to be a tough game for him to come in.
I think so. Yeah, really tough game because, like I said, Mitrovic has been on fire, hasn't he?
Yeah,
really has.
Yeah, a few of them have.
Fulham have a good team.
They do, and
playing well.
They started the season off quite well. They give Liverpool a run for the money, and it's. Liverpool haven't been playing great as well, but we'll go on to that in a minute. But I just think Chelsea are just.
Another funny thing about Graham Potter as well, what I've read, is there was a clause in his contract anyway that he could leave. I don't know if it's whether a certain club in the top six or so. It's not like Chelsea had to go in now for any particular reason. So why didn't just give Tuchel like a month or two at least? Just spent so much money on players. I know,
but I think it's deeper than that. I think
it must be.
I think the relationship with Bowley and Tuchel was very fragile. Let's say.
I think the fact that he didn't want to sign Ronaldo has something to do with it.
I think you're right.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think he was really up for signing Bowley, wasn't he? But I think Tuchel just didn't want him at all.
If that's the case, are they going to revisit that in January and look at taking Ronaldo from United in January?
I think they might be. I think they might do because I don't think he's going to get a look in at United in general. I think in Europa League he might do, but in general, I think. Ten Hag's made his choice. He's saying like it's going to be Rashford or Martial. Yeah. Simple as that.
But at the same time, what's Ronaldo going to offer to Chelsea that they don't already have? Is it purely merchandising?
That's it.
Is that what they're buying him for?
I think that's what Bowley wants him for. He wants him as
marketing tool.
Because he knows him. He'll know him. He'll think, Ronaldo. Everyone knows him around the world. They all know him in America.
It's probably one of the only players he knows.
Ronaldo and Messi, they're just known worldwide stars, aren't they? And he'll see stars in his eyes thinking we could have him playing for us.
When Abramovich had Chelsea, he had a director of football, he had a managing director, he had a chairman with Bruce Buck, and he had the managing director, the girl, I can't remember her name now.
Is it Mariana Gravatsky?
Yeah, Gravatsky, something like that. Yeah, correct.
Something.
He had the director of football, which. Again, can't remember the name. It was Paul Elliott for a while, I think, but then he changed
Bruce
someone else.
There as well.
Bruce Buck was he was the MD or whatever he was.
Yeah.
Did I not mention him first?
You might have done, yeah.
And then it's they had a structure. And then when Abramovich when Abramovich left or sold up, they all went, and he didn't bring in the same structure. Ted Bowley's been doing sporting director. Which to come into the Premier League or the football world, let's say, from an NFL perspective, he could do it. You'll know how it works from an NFL perspective.
Yeah,
very successful NFL franchise, but coming into the Premier League to kind of like take over that, he's a newbie, and he might just be going off names. Raheem Sterling comes in, Aubameyang comes in, Wesley Fofana comes in. Just going off people who have been playing well. Wesley Fofana's unproven at the moment.
Wesley Fofana, I was going to say Wesley Fofana's not really a big name player.
No, but he paid a lot of money for him. They paid 60 odd,
70 million, 75, I think. Koulibaly's that kind of centre back.
Koulibaly as well, which to me is I think just a liability.
I think so. Yeah,
he's been sent off already. A couple of weeks ago,
he was sent off, wasn't he, for 2 yellows, and you saying the other night.
We've had that discussion for years, haven't we?
Yeah,
about him when he was at Napoli.
Even Cucurella, City going from, so he's thinking City champions, best team, one of the best teams in Europe, absolutely.
Yeah,
He must be something there. So he's gone in, paid over the odds, I think.
Although they've got Chilwell, which I think was a record fee as well at the time for a left back, was it?
Got Chilwell still. He's just come back from injury, but he's back in the side again, isn't he? So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the nod there.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So I don't know with Chelsea.
It's just really odd, I think.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think as well.
Yeah, I think you're right about the regime. I think maybe Tuchel was seen as part of the old regime as well. He was Abramovich's manager.
Yeah, he was.
So he's got to go as well. Maybe there's something in that as well. But
don't know. I wish Graham Potter the best there, but I just think, like I said, I think it's a poison chalice, and it's he's going to be up against it. I think.
I think so.
That he'd be right under the spotlight, and whether he can accept that, and whether he's capable of doing that under the spotlight, different story.
He might be able to do it. He might turn out to be a masterstroke.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm not convinced. But if I'm proven wrong, that's fine. I'll take it on the chin.
Completely different play styles as well, Brighton and Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Play
styles, expectations.
There's a lot of big names at Chelsea. You look at Thiago Silva.
Brighton finishing 9th. They're quite happy with that, aren't they? Yeah. That's best season for him. He wants to be finishing like probably top 2, top 3, doesn't he?
You look at Chelsea as far as names go, and you've got people who are on the periphery that have not been liked with Tuchel, like I always get his name mixed up. Midfielder Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
And another one, big midfielder, big lad.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah.
So they've never been really sort of fancied by Tuchel. They've not really been given a good enough chance.
Not had a good run.
They've always been sat there. They're not leaving for anything. And I don't know if one of them go out on loan. I think.
Hudson-Odoi just gone on loan to Leverkusen.
Leverkusen
was it? Okay. So never really given a chance. Is Potter going to open up to giving them guys a chance to sort of like come in and say, come and see what you've got, because we haven't got anything there. But then you look at the big names, Sterling, Aubameyang, Thiago Silva, Koulibaly. The goalkeeper, Arrizabalaga, when you think about him, they paid like 90 million for him.
Paid a lot of money for him, didn't they?
They bought Mendy for a lot of money.
Yeah.
They've got Azpilicueta. They've got people, Ben Chilwell. Cucurella's coming on big numbers.
Yeah.
And you've got all these people coming in, all the people on the periphery are sort of like sitting there going like, this is probably why they weren't playing for Tuchel, because they're like saying, what am I getting? What's in it for me?
They've got good players on the periphery, haven't they? I mean, he's Mason Mount getting a look in these days.
Yeah, he plays a big game.
Is he still playing?
Yeah. But Pulisic, for me, I think Pulisic comes in for a bad rap, but I think he's just not. Carragher was giving him a bad rap the other day on TV, saying he's a new manager going to re-spark him.
Yeah,
I actually think he's one of their best players.
Yeah,
he puts it in. He puts the effort in.
Yeah, he's a good player. Absolutely,
he's all out. He's all out tracking down, running. Sometimes he loses his head a little bit and gives away silly free kicks, but most players do that. You can go through any team in the Premier League; they're all going to do the same. But I just think he's got his work cut out there, Pot.
Yeah, I do. So absolutely, I think he has got his work cut out. It's going to be really, really interesting to see.
I feel really bad for Brighton now, though. Well, their season could possibly go down.
Well, not really, because there's some decent managers that you could probably pull in. I mean, Scott Parker's available.
Thomas Tuchel.
That'd be great. Imagine if you went there and finished above Chelsea.
Champions League. I'd love that. Yeah. But I can't see Tuchel going somewhere like that. Tuchel's going to go. He's a big European name manager.
Yeah, I think with Brighton, I think it's crucial to get someone in that plays the same style of football.
Scott Parker.
Absolutely. Because Graham Potter's he's not transformed, but he sort of has transformed, but he's got that mentality and that way of playing, hasn't he? Over the last 2-3 years, we've said before, the way they play the football.
Yeah. Even if they don't win games, you're still watching them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fantastic.
Because we've always said, top strike away from being probably top 6, maybe sometimes. They play that good of football.
They're a couple of players away from being a very, very good team.
But so it wouldn't be great if they changed the style of play. If they keep the style of play, then they could do all right still.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, let's see what happens once it comes across there. Side shifting onto the Champions League now. We've had the first round of the Champions League played.
Yeah.
For all clubs played the first round, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Every group played the first round.
Yeah. They've got crammed in, haven't they? Because
everything's crammed in now. Yeah,
so it was all in 2 days, wasn't it?
It was. It was a rush. There was a couple of early games and a couple of later games. City got off to a flyer, 4-0 win. Pretty straightforward. Dominated. Haaland a couple of goals again. Just running like a machine, like he does. Right place, right time.
Akanji needs to have a shout out. What a player!
He's very comfortable, but again, wasn't really pressed as far as you want. If you come, I mean, it was his debut sort of thing, and he's.
Who is he exactly?
He's come from Borussia Dortmund.
Oh, right,
he's a Swiss international. He's played Switzerland. He played against us last season when we played him in the Champions League or the season before, whenever it was.
Yeah, but the fact that you're saying he's got no pressure on him or anything, the fact that he's had nothing to do and not really had many tackles to make, It means he's always in the right place at the right time, and he's not committed any sort of errors to get himself in that position in the first place.
Listen, with Akanji, he's a seasoned professional. He's been around for a while. He's 27, 28 years old, whatever he is. He's an international. He's a Swiss international. Been playing for, I don't know how many caps he's got for Switzerland.
He's playing Champions League.
He's been playing in the Champions League for many years. But he's an accomplished international. He just fit in very well. He was very comfortable. Same with Gomez at left back. He come in, fit in very well, had a great game. And to be fair, with Sevilla, they never really offered much, and they've not got a great start in La Liga.
Well, the drawn one, lost 3 out of 4. To be fair, not doing great either this season.
No.
So
and their manager's under a massive amount of pressure as well.
Pressure.
So Lopetegui, whatever his name is, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Lopetegui, he's the guy that was at Spain for a couple of days and then got fired because he was taking over Real Madrid and then didn't last long at Madrid. So he's the players they've got some aging players. They look good for 5 minutes in each half. First 5 minutes they looked okay.
Yeah.
Rest of it was just one way.
I think you'll sterner test, won't you? But you should sail through the group. I would have thought Dortmund would be your biggest test, but you should be able to overcome.
Well, one of the strongest teams in Europe, and that's it's there. But you never know in the Champions League. It's a cup competition, and once you get to the knockout stages, a lot of luck gets into
absolutely,
it as well. Timings, injuries, there's loads that come about it. Going on to the other teams that play from the big ones you're looking out for. Liverpool last night against Napoli.
Yeah, big surprise really. I mean, I know Napoli are doing okay in the Italian league. I think
they're doing very well. It's only Atalanta ahead of them.
You'd still expect Liverpool to win, wouldn't you, or get something out of the game? But to get beat 4-1, I didn't see that coming.
Liverpool were rocked right from the first minute. They hit the post in the first minute. The guy, what's his name, the centre forward, number 9. He was living United.
Osimhen.
He's what a nuisance of a player. Fast, physical, skillful. He went on to miss a penalty, but that would have made it 3 or 2-0 at the time.
Yeah.
They got the second penalty, but they had missed the sitter. They hit the post. They had one cleared off the line by Van Dijk. But for me, what the biggest disappointment in that game for me watching Liverpool was the fact that Trent Alexander-Arnold just did not want to know. He wasn't tracking back. People were going round him. He just looked as if he just couldn't be arsed.
Yeah,
I watched the video.
His head was not in it.
It was their second goal when they kind of passed it to Zambo and Reese's. Yeah. And it was I saw it was Trent Alexander-Arnold's controller ran out of battery.
Yeah,
he was just standing there whilst his position was getting taken up, and he ran in behind where the right back should be.
I wonder why he's like that.
But you even seen it for one of the other. I don't know if it was one of the other chances or one of the other goals he scored. But the left winger just went. He knocked it round him and ran round him. I don't know if it's that Lobotka. It was one of them. Just knocked it round and went round him.
Is it that Georgian?
And I'm like, mate, it could have been. Yeah, I can't remember. His name's too hard.
Yeah, I don't even want to pronounce it. You normally have an easy first name. You pronounce that.
He looked really good. He looked sharp. He was running.
Looks really good in Serie A as well.
He does. And to be fair, he's putting a great team together. Considering they got rid of a load of players as well. Napoli. He's brought in a lot of new players. But at the same time, it's just with Liverpool. Gomez was just like Gomez looked like a Sunday League player. Not even that good. Not even that good. A bad Sunday League player has been on the lash.
Alexander-Arnold looking worse because he's having to do more defending, and he's
not really
he's better going forward. And
I think it would suit him more if Van Dijk played on the right.
I think you're probably right, but what you've got, he was covering Gomez. I mean, there was one time there where Gomez had the ball nicked off him. And
a couple times
it was the ball should have just gone back to the keeper, and it was the obvious play to do. Regroup, reposition, get your shape back, knock it back to the keeper, and he tried to turn it left, and the guy just read him like a book.
Yeah,
took it straight off him and went through. But it's Anguissa's goal when he scored the on the inside post, the 1-2. The whole defence was just stood still. Not one went with the runner, and you learnt that at schoolboy level. Go with the runner,
absolutely,
especially on a 1-2. He must have called twos, gone for it. He's calling it. He's not just played and gone. He's called it. He's gone for it, and no one's gone with him. I was disappointed. But when you look at Liverpool's midfield, what they started with last night, they started with Milner. They started with Fabinho. Started with RB Elliott. And for me, Milner and RB Elliott, Milner's past it for me. And Elliott is a good looking prospect as far as the footballing skills he's got.
Just a prospect at the moment.
He needs someone around him who's gonna bring him through. Milner could be that guy if he was 5-6 years younger.
Yeah,
I think Milner's just that little bit too old to bring him through because Milner's a workhorse. You need someone who's got that same sort of ability as what he carries as well, sort of thing. So
Do you think there's an underlying problem at Liverpool? I mean, it's strange to say because they won 9-0 not so long ago. They probably should have beaten Everton in the derby because they had quite a lot of chances there. But then they've had some, a few defeats as well, haven't they? The other night, Klopp was saying we need to reinvent ourselves. It's like he's saying there's sort of like something in there that's not quite right. I say that this early in the season.
Certainly going to miss Manny, aren't they? Because Manny he scored 20 goals a season in the last 20 plus goals a season for the last 5 seasons.
Must have done. Yeah, it's absolutely a huge miss.
That's to get the numbers back. Diaz looks like one of them players. He's come in. He's fast. He's an angry player. Runs around, chases down, closes down the ball. But he needs other people with him. He's not a Mane. He's not got that same sort of ability as Mane. He's a very different player. He's more, to me. He's not really. He doesn't come across to me as a winger.
Yeah.
He comes to me as more of a. You want someone with that free role, not a 10, but someone with a free role who can drop to each wing and play along with someone else.
Yeah.
Play off someone.
Yeah.
And whether Robertson's making that run down and they're going to play off each other that way, but he's also, if he's going to play left wing or left side midfield, he's also got to get back and help Robertson.
Do you think Salah's been a bit quiet this season? Because I think
he has been.
Do you think that's because Mane isn't there? And they had a lot of rivalry between each other, didn't they? Some people might say, they have to go at each other sometimes about passing and stuff, but do you think that inspired him to sort of be even a better player? Thinking, right,
possibly.
I want to beat Mane.
You could be right.
And now he's not there, it's like, got his new contract.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just taking the edge off him a little bit.
You also look, getting you got to feed people like Mane. You got to feed people like Salah. You got to feed people like Diaz.
Of course,
Firmino for me has not been anywhere near the player for the last 2 years that he was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And Jota for me is a miles better player than Firmino. But for some reason, Jota, whether he's made of biscuits or whatever, he's always injured. He always seems to be on the bench. I don't know if he's coming back from an injury or he's been injured or he's got an injury. I don't know.
I think he
just doesn't seem to be able to have that lucky run in the squad. But if he does, he's a very, very intelligent footballer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's one of them where that he could easily get Liverpool 20 plus goals a season and fill that void. But then that leaves Firmino out. And Firmino, for me, when he plays as a 9, he never plays as a 9 like Jota does. He always tries to play that false 9 where he drops. Sometimes I see him.
He does drop off a lot.
He's on the same line as the back 4. Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing there, mate? That's not your ball.
It's not his. He does do it. Shouldn't be there. I think he missed Thiago a bit as well.
Yeah, when he come on as a sub second half yesterday.
Yeah,
and for me, when he come on and Matic came on at the back, they showed up a little bit. They was a little bit better. They give away a quick goal in the second half, but again, I think they were just taken by the speed and pressure that Napoli were putting them under.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
So I wasn't convinced by Thiago at first, but I think the last couple of months of the season maybe he's coming. To be fair, he's probably looked better. I just thought sometimes it was against teams that were sitting back and it was dead easy for him anyway. Yeah. But by all accounts, I've missed him quite.
Yeah, and just for me with Thiago, what I want to see of him is I want to see him fighting with teams like Leeds. I want to see him fighting against your teams. Your mid-table teams that are quite rough and bullish. Who get stuck in a little bit, Everton's of the world, Palace's of the world.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
The reason I want to see that is because I think for me he's almost one of them that wants a little bit too much space, and he needs that little bit of space. He can play the 5-yard pass very easy. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then he'll get it. He'll look up and he'll want a little bit of time and space, and then he'll ping a good 20-30 yard pass.
Yeah,
and he'll look for that. He's a bit of a Hollywood player.
Yeah,
everything's got to be a glory ball where it's spraying it all over. And if you don't give him that time, he can't do that.
It's who else is going to do it, innit? Because certainly James Miller won't do stuff like that.
Henderson tries,
but he
messes it up 9 times out of 10. Yeah.
So I suppose in that sense, it's going to be a big miss in it if you're feeding the front players that they're relying on it.
But someone said, it might have been you that said to me as well about the Liverpool players for playing for Klopp about City are doing so well in the league and they're pushing, and Klopp saying the same thing over and over again, and they can't seem to get up to that next level. Yeah. Although last season they almost won everything.
Almost, but they didn't. But then they've lost.
But they almost won nothing.
The best player as well. They lost Sané.
Yeah, Mane. Sorry. But they also won nothing because they won both finals. They won on penalties. Yeah, penalties is a lucky drop.
And if we won them cups, it doesn't mean anything.
When we win, yeah. But it's for me. I just think Mane's the missing puzzle of the piece for me, and obviously Milner getting older. Van Dijk's getting older at the back. He's in his 30s now.
There's a few of them
sort of like getting older. Slowed down. Gomez just looks like he's playing with his either
just
two left feet or he's got the wrong boots on or something, or someone's tied his shoelaces together. Because last night he was bobbins. He was absolutely awful.
What about just going back to Diogo Jota? Does he start for you in Liverpool?
Yeah. every week. His first name on the list for me.
What, Jota? Do you think so?
Yep.
So you're not playing Darwin Núñez?
No, he's not in the same league as Jota. Darwin Núñez.
No, I'm not convinced by him. I must admit. I mean, he might end up the season being absolutely brilliant, but I don't know. I'm really not convinced by him.
Jota is a footballing man, a footballing brain, very intelligent player, and for me, I think Jota gets in pretty much any team in the Premier League.
Getting City's team?
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
Who are you taking out?
I'm not taking anyone out, but he will get in the team. He will be a regular starter. You know, if someone like, for instance, I don't know. I mean, you've got like a Foden, Grealish, you've got Mahrez, you've got people who play in that similar sort of role as they're not. Listen, Jota's not a number 9, right? He's just a very intelligent player. Jota can play a 10 role.
No, he's definitely not a 9.
He can play an 8. He can play. There's a bunch of roles. He can play wings. He can play a few different roles where he's that intelligent of a player. He'll fit in. So you find a place to fit in. I'd say something. If Bernardo leaves City, Jota's the ideal replacement for me for Bernardo. You know, whether Pep take that role on and say we'll put him in that role, what Bernardo does, and Jota's got that ability. I think he's definitely got the ability, but is he as good as Bernardo in that role? Probably not.
Yeah.
Don't know, but he's certainly better if you were playing a false 9 and you were going for that in cup games or whatever. Then you're playing a different, taking Haaland out of the equation, and you want to back up to Haaland. I know we've got Alvarez now.
I think Alvarez is pretty similar to
Jota.
Yeah.
I agree, 100% agree. Very, very similar players.
Yeah.
But on that basis, we've got players of just as good quality as Jota. But if we didn't have them players, then he gets in the team. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's on that same level. He's on that same level as certain players.
I
we've
need
got.
to see a bit more Jota. I'm not convinced by him.
Very intelligent player, mate.
Not so sure about him. He's scored a few goals, but I've seen some games as well where
it's his movement. It's his movement off the ball as well. The way he takes defenders away, the way he drags people into the midfield, the way he drags them out to the wings and makes space for other people, and the space he reads and what he reads where the ball's going to be next. Very intelligent player. I like Jota a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Did anyone watch that Atletico Madrid game last night?
No.
You see, I had my ACCA on, and I had all the other bets came through. They won, and then I had one more that was still playing because it was quite a lot of added time in Atletico Madrid. They scored in the 91st minute. I'm like, oh no, and
While you're doing that, I'm going to try and get the fixtures up for the weekend.
So, and then 96th minute, Porto equalised to get 1-1. So I thought I've got my money here. It was about 170 quid.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Atletico Madrid score again on the.
No way.
On the it was like 90 plus 12 they scored.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man. That's disgraceful.
So I'm just going to get Saturday's fixtures up here.
What was it? Was it sort of like injuries, bad injury or something, or just time wasting?
I think it was an injury. It must have been. I didn't watch the game until like the last 10 minutes.
Oh, man.
So without us all looking at the TV, I'll give us the fixtures, give us your quick predictions for the weekend. Fulham v Chelsea, right?
Fulham victory 2-1.
1-1.
1-1. I'm going to go with a Chelsea win 2-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bournemouth Brighton. Oh, derby. South Coast derby.
I'll go Bournemouth 1-0.
2-2 for me.
I'm going to go for 0-0. Leicester Villa, another derby. Midlands derby.
Battle of the bad managers, eh?
Yeah. Battle of who's getting the sack.
0-0. I think it's going to be that tight. Would it be in a derby as well? I don't think any of those managers will want to lose. I think it'll be tight.
I'll go 2-1 Villa.
I'm going to go 3-2 for Leicester.
Ooh. Villa played well last year.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-2. I'm going to go 3-2 Leicester, and I think Steven Gerrard will get fired next week.
Ooh.
I think they might say a bit of the managerial merry-go-round. Liverpool.
Is that your next manager to get
Liverpool
sacked?
v Wolves. Well, Wolves.
I think Liverpool will sort of win it 2-0.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm going to go for 1-1.
1-1. Right,
Wolves are struggling to score. But also Liverpool seem very open at the back, and Wolves are a very, very good footballing team.
I just think Liverpool, with the way they've been playing at the moment, I think there'll be a reaction at home, and I think
but the way Wolves have been passing that ball around, and the way I've seen Liverpool defending yesterday, and if Wolves play anywhere near what they can play, they'd certainly play similar style to what Napoli played last night, and if they can pass through it like that, and they've got someone who can put the ball away, people like Daniel Podence and people like got great Martinho.
They've signed some good, like Gonzalo Guedes. He's a good player.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with Liverpool, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
it's one of those.
A big shout. Do you reckon Diego Costa will be in for that game?
Possibly.
He's signed for visa, I think, hasn't he?
He's meant to be signing today.
Or his work permit.
He probably has to register today to be a part of that on 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
You have to
might be
by
involved.
lunchtime
He would be a proper nuisance for their defence.
Big time.
It could make a difference in the match, actually, to be fair.
And they're just shy of a goal scorer, and we know Costa can goal score.
I mean, he can run from up a bit, can't he? If they're a bit fragile anyway after a 4-1 defeat, then that might change.
He can get in your ear like that, and that's a good call. That him playing could depend on whether Wolves win, but I'm still going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, fair enough.
Southampton, Brentford.
I'll go 2-1 Brentford.
No, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
3-1 Brentford.
I'm going to go 0-0 on that as well.
How many 0-0s are this week, mate?
Yeah, 2 0-0s. I'm going to go Brighton and Bournemouth 0-0 and Southampton Brentford 0-0. And then the big game in the weekend, Manchester City v Tottenham Hotspur 2v3.
I think...
it's always high scoring, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it'd be 2-1 to City. I think City will win it still, but Tottenham look quite dangerous at the moment.
They do.
Look a decent side.
Very organised.
Kane's on form. I think they could grab a goal. I think they're looking pretty good at the moment, but I still think it'd be a bit too strong for them.
We're struggling at the back. A couple of injuries at the back. Laporte's out. Stones is out. Hopefully Walker might be back this week. He's been out midweek. They rested them both for injury. Yeah.
Well,
Stones and Walker.
That could have a big big impact on the score.
Aki's back obviously, and we've got Akanji as well. So
Tottenham only played last night.
Yeah, Tottenham played last night as well. So we've got that extra couple of days rest.
Extra day. Saturday. They played the day before.
Yeah. So it's
a difference.
It can do. Yeah, definitely
can do.
I'll go 3-1 City.
I'm going to go for my big bet. Always go on City. 4-0. Haaland to score first. Get your money on that.
Do you have a look at Sunday as well?
So Sunday's games. Just quickly while we're here, we might as well.
Have a touch on United for Mike as well.
Sunday, we might as well do these. Arsenal, big game. Some good big games there. Arsenal v Everton.
3-0 Arsenal for me.
I'll go 1-1.
I'm going to go very similar down the route of what Mike's saying there.
Arsenal played well against us. I think pretty decent at the moment.
Yeah, and Everton are playing not very good. They're just not a good team.
It's a sort of game that Everton would nick a point but still play very bad, and Arsenal should have won 4-1.
If that happens, that's the start of the collapse for Arsenal, isn't it? Then
that's
usual. That's usual annual collapse for Arsenal. Sorry, Arsenal fans, but that's the way it is. I'm going to go Arsenal.
Yeah, I think if Everton can nick an early goal, it could
like they have been.
But who's going to score for Everton?
Gordon.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
Anthony Gordon. He's been scoring for him recently.
So what are you going for?
I'm still going for Arsenal.
I'm going 1-1.
3-0, 1-0. I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal.
Yeah.
West Ham Newcastle.
Well, that's a tough game to call.
2-2 for me.
2-2.
Newcastle looking pretty good. West Ham not bad.
You know what? I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham.
I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. Right. Yep. Okay.
And then battle of the relegation battle, Palace against United.
We're fifth at the moment. Too much behind you. You bit. It'll be a tough one, man. I think we might be a draw. Palace are all right at the moment. I think it could be like something like 1-1, but we're looking better at the back, looking tighter at the back.
Yep.
But I still think Palace look all right at the moment as well. It's an away match. There's always a good atmosphere there as well at Palace, to be fair.
Eagles.
It could be anything, but I think I've just got a feeling we'll probably do a draw. Maybe
it's one of the hardest away games of the season. That I think.
I don't know. Try and come on to City. I think that might be coming at the Etihad. Might be an
that's why I said one of them. I didn't say the hardest. Put them about fourth. Hardest away game.
Yeah,
I'm going to go.
There when they
what are you going for, Aidan?
I'll go with an undeserved 2-1 United win.
That's what I was going to go for. That's what I was going to go for. Penalty in the 97th minute for United, but it wasn't a penalty.
That'll do me.
And United 2-1.
That'll do me.
Yeah. So that's all. Wraps it up for this week. Let us know your thoughts on the on what we've got.
Comment down below the predictions.
Comment down. Yeah, let us know your predictions as well. Let us know you get on. If any other comments on the channel you want us to do or talk about, let us know in the comments. It's new. We're growing it. So as long as you want us to be here, we'll be here.
Absolutely. We'll go through those next week, won't we? See
how far
we'll
We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Cheers.